Stephanie White, Indiana Fever head coach Stephanie White.
The Stephanie White offense compared to what she was doing at Iowa.
Indiana Fever fans, so let's keep it real. Let's keep it 100 like a Ben Frank. You hear me? So let me ask y'all again. Is Stephanie White a good coach?
As today, Stephanie White has a clear conundrum on her hand, and she needs to figure out a solution.
Imagine this. You're the most electric rookie in women's basketball history. You're selling out arenas. You're breaking records. Your jersey is flying off shelves faster than the league can restock it. And yet, behind closed doors, you're miserable.
My precious Cece, she was upset. She didn't say nothing, no smiling, walked off. Not looking at no cameras. I'm talking about, you can tell it's all on her face. She got it in her mind. But look, I need y'all to understand. That was so embarrassing and pathetic. And the teamwork was not there. But I remember Jordan had got hurt his second year. He didn't come back until playoffs. And that playoff series was legendary. He scored 63 points in one game, but he still lost.
Why? Because the one thing that made you unstoppable, your freedom to play your game, has been ripped away. Instead of running an offense built around your vision, you're trapped in a slow, rigid system that feels like basketball on a leash. And the coach holding that leash? The same one you might just want out of the building. This isn't speculation anymore. Caitlin Clark's own words and body language are starting to paint a picture.
I mean, what's going on here? And I'm sorry, but if Stephanie White's supposed to be this all-world coach, you're not going to show up to a game against the Phoenix Mercury with DeWanna Bonner playing on the other side after what she did to the Indiana Fever franchise, and you show up there and somehow the team is lifeless? Sophie Cunningham coming back to Phoenix? And the team is life.
She doesn't like the offense. She misses her college coach, and she's dropping hints that could shake the Indiana Fever to their core. In the next few minutes, we're breaking down exactly why this rift between Caitlin Clark and Stephanie White could explode. We'll cover the on-court frustrations, the shocking benchings, the comparisons to Lisa Bluder's run-and-gun Iowa offense, and why some insiders believe Clark's not just unhappy, she's quietly pushing for change. We're also going to talk about what happens if nothing changes, because trust me, the stakes here aren't just wins and losses. This could determine whether the WNBA's brightest star stays happy.
Why I can't stand Stephanie White as a basketball coach for Caitlin Clark. I don't think that Stephanie White is a bad coach. I don't get it twisted. She's not a bad coach at all. I just don't think she's the right coach for Caitlin Clark. So let's take a listen to this right here. This was on the podcast with Super 8.
But I think that's even been something like me and Steph have always talked about when we go and watch film, and even that New York game where I played really, really well. Obviously scored a lot of points. I think I had 9 assists or 10 assists that game.
She was a rebound and assist off a 32-point triple-double.
Or starts thinking about life outside Indiana. So here's the question for you. If you were running the Indiana Fever, would you side with the rookie phenom and change the offense, or stand by the veteran coach? Drop your take in the comments, hit that like button if you want the WNBA to let its stars shine, and make sure you're subscribed to Her Hoops so you don't miss the rest of this story, because it's about to get wild. Caitlin Clark didn't just arrive in the WNBA, she came in like a meteor. From the moment she stepped on a pro court, she carried the same energy that made her a college phenomenon at Iowa. Under Lisa Bluder, Clark was given something rare in basketball: total freedom. No endless play calls, no play it safe mindset, no fear of being benched after one bad possession. Bluder's philosophy was simple: if you've got the vision, the skills, and the guts, you run the show. Clark wasn't just part of Iowa's offense, she was the offense. Every possession was a chance to create something dangerous. Whether that meant pulling up from the logo, threading an impossible pass through traffic, or running a 5-out offense that spread the floor so wide you could park a truck in the lane, Clark had the greenest of green lights. And the results? Historic. Clark became a household name. Iowa games sold out. Opposing crowds booed her, not because they disliked her, but because she destroyed their teams night after night. Fast forward to Indiana. Now Clark's playing for Stephanie White, a veteran WNBA coach with a championship pedigree as a player. White's system is deliberate, structured, and risk-averse. The philosophy? Minimize mistakes, keep possessions safe, grind out wins. On paper, that's fine. In reality, it's the basketball equivalent of asking a Ferrari to stay in first gear. And that's where the tension starts. Clark isn't just adjusting to a faster league, she's adjusting to a slower offense. Here's the blunt truth. Stephanie White's offense and Caitlin Clark's game are oil and water. Clark thrives in chaos. She's a fast-break visionary, the kind of player who sees the game 3 seconds ahead of everyone else. At Iowa, that vision was a weapon. She could whip a cross-court pass before the defense even realized the ball was gone. She could launch a 30-footer without hesitation because she knew it would swing momentum. But in White's system, those instincts are being shackled. The Fever's offense right now feels like it's designed to avoid embarrassment rather than create dominance. Sets are slow to develop, ball movement is predictable, spacing is cramped, and every risky play is treated like a crime scene. We've seen it. Clark makes 1 or 2 turnovers, and suddenly she's on the bench like she's being punished. Meanwhile, veterans who commit the same mistakes, they keep their minutes. They're trusted. The message is clear. If you're new, play safe. If you're flashy, tone it down. If you're Caitlin Clark, forget about the freedom that made you a star. Because here, the system comes first. This isn't about whether White is a bad coach. She's not. It's about whether she's the right coach for a generational talent whose biggest asset is her unpredictability. And right now, the evidence says, probably not. Clark's numbers still look solid. She's breaking rookie assist records and dropping big scoring nights. But you can see the frustration, the hesitation, the little moments where she looks to the bench before making a play, like she's asking for permission to be herself. And here's the kicker. When you take away a player's freedom, you're not just changing their style, you're chipping away at their confidence. Let's be crystal clear. This isn't just about one rookie being unhappy with her coach. The stakes here are massive. First, for Caitlin Clark herself. She's not just another player, she's the economic engine of the WNBA right now. Ticket sales spike when she's in town. TV ratings jump. Merch flies off shelves. She's the rare player who draws casual sports fans into women's basketball. If she's happy, the league thrives. If she's frustrated, if her game feels watered down, and if fans feel like they're not getting the Caitlin Clark show they paid for, the magic fades. Second, for the Indiana Fever. Let's be honest, they've been a struggling franchise for years. Clark's arrival wasn't just a draft pick, it was a lifeline. She was supposed to be the spark that turned this team into a contender, the face that brought them back to relevance. But here's the nightmare scenario. The system doesn't change. Clark's frustrations grow. Her game becomes more cautious. Wins don't pile up, and by the time her rookie contract ends, she's thinking about other options, or worse, stepping away from the WNBA entirely. And third, for the WNBA as a whole. This league has been begging for a breakout star who could cross over into mainstream sports culture. Clark is that star, but if the league's coaching philosophies keep stifling its most creative players, you risk sending a dangerous message to every future phenom. Come here, and we'll make you fit our system, even if it kills your game. That's not just bad basketball, that's bad business. We've seen this play out before in sports history. Remember when Steve Nash was stuck in a slow-paced system before Mike D'Antoni unleashed him? Remember when Giannis Antetokounmpo was just another long-limbed forward until a coach said, "No, you run the offense." Change the environment, change the career. For Clark, the clock is already ticking. The question is, does Indiana realize it before it's too late? Here's the thing about superstar athletes. If you don't give them what they need, someone else will. Caitlin Clark may be locked into a rookie deal, but in the WNBA, just like in the NBA, whispers travel fast. Coaches talk, players recruit, agents play chess 3 moves ahead. Option 1. Indiana makes a coaching change. This is the nuclear button some fans already think Clark is quietly reaching for. Bring in a system builder, someone like her Iowa coach Lisa Bluter, or another offensive-minded leader. who understands that you don't wrap a star in bubble wrap, you let her run free. It's the cleanest option, but it would mean parting ways with Stephanie White, a respected figure in the league. That's no small shakeup. Option 2. Tweak the system without firing the coach. Could White modernize her offense? Go faster, spread the floor, and give Clark the green light? Sure, but here's the problem. Systems are like habits. Coaches often run what they know, and White's entire identity has been built on structured, disciplined basketball. Asking her to flip into Iowa mode overnight might be like asking a jazz pianist to suddenly play death metal. Option 3. Clark plays the long game and waits. Maybe she stays quiet publicly, does her job, but keeps a mental list of teams with systems she'd thrive in. And believe me, those teams are out there. Imagine Clark running the floor in Vegas with Aja Wilson and Kelsey Plum. Imagine her in New York feeding Breanna Stewart and Sabrina Ionescu in a run-and-gun attack, or even in Phoenix alongside Diana Taurasi's final chapter, a franchise that already leans into star freedom. And don't think other players aren't watching. Locker room whispers get loud. When one star's unhappy, others take note. Rival teams see opportunity. That's why this isn't just about X's and O's, it's about perception. If the Fever look like a place where creativity gets benched, they won't just risk losing Clark, they'll struggle to attract any high-profile talent. And if the WNBA loses Caitlin Clark to another franchise, or worst case to another league, it would be the kind of headline that echoes for years. When you're watching from the stands or on TV, you can miss the micro moments, the quick glances, the clipped answers, the way a player walks back to the huddle after a timeout. But those tiny details, they're the breadcrumbs that lead to the real story. And with Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever, those breadcrumbs are everywhere. Teammates are supportive in interviews, sure, but there's a difference between public support and private frustration. Multiple times this season, we've seen Clark looking visibly annoyed when a play gets slowed down, when her outlet passes aren't pushed up the floor, or when a set call from the bench forces her to stop in her tracks. Body language never lies, and if you know what to look for, you can see that she and Coach White aren't always in sync. It's not screaming matches, it's the subtler stuff. A shake of the head, a muttered comment walking back to the bench, a play that gets ignored. Then there's the teammate factor. Some players love a fast pace, others feel safer in a controlled system. So when a superstar like Clark pushes for more freedom, it can split the room, even if no one admits it out loud. Remember, basketball is chemistry. If one player feels they're not being maximized, it can affect their energy, their connection with teammates, and even how they lead. And Clark? She's a natural leader, but a frustrated leader can accidentally make a locker room colder. The Fever's front office knows this. They've seen it happen before in other cities. The everything's fine act right before a team implodes from the inside. That's why this isn't just about winning games. It's about keeping the people in that locker room aligned. All right, let's strip it down to the real possibilities here, because the Fever's future is teetering on a knife's edge. Outcome 1. The front office backs Caitlin Clark. They bring in a coach who not only buys into her style, but builds the entire system around her strengths. Think pace, space, and a green light from anywhere. The Fever start running like the old Phoenix Mercury or early Golden State Warriors, fun, free, and impossible to guard. The risk? You alienate players who liked White's structure, and you signal to the league that one player can dictate coaching hires. Outcome 2. They keep Coach Stephanie White. This means Clark either adapts or learns to coexist in a slower, more structured offense. If they win, great, it becomes a "we were all wrong" redemption story. But if the losing continues, the pressure will get unbearable. Clark's patience has a limit, and the Fever risk her checking out mentally before her rookie contract even ends. Outcome 3. The nuclear option. Clark eventually forces a trade. It sounds impossible now, but stars do this all the time when they feel boxed in. And with her massive brand power, endorsements, and ability to draw crowds anywhere, another team would beg to have her. The Fever's nightmare scenario is becoming the franchise that lost the face of women's basketball. And here's the wild card no one's talking about. Clark walking away from the WNBA entirely after her rookie deal to pursue year-round brand deals, media work, or even playing overseas for triple the money. Far-fetched? Maybe. But if the WNBA can't keep its stars happy and paid, nothing's off the table. So here we are. The Indiana Fever have a choice.
Do they build the future around the most electric rookie in years? Or double down on a coach whose style clashes with their star? Because make no mistake, this isn't just about basketball. It's about power. It's about who gets the final say in building a franchise. And it's about whether the Fever want to be the team that writes a dynasty, or the team that let history slip through their fingers. Now I want to hear from you. If you were running the Fever, would you side with Caitlin Clark and make a coaching change, or stick with Stephanie White and hope it all works out? Drop your take in the comments, hit like if you enjoyed the deep dive, and make sure you're subscribed to Her Hoops for more real talk on the WNBA's biggest stories. Because this is far from over.